All right, this is the release of Phased Array Basic. This is a single source HTML file. So what happens is you'll get these little files and you'll download them and you just open them right up into your web browser. So it's pretty simple. They're pretty mobile. Everything you need is in there. And so I'll walk you through this really quick. You go ahead and you open your data files. You could open multiple at a time. This is pretty basic. I took out a lot of my stuff, but this still gives you quite a bit of functionality. Here we have 4 files. These are smaller files. These are 1 foot plates. If you start loading bigger files, it's going to slow down a little bit and it's going to be a little bit chunkier. And that's just something you're going to have to figure out. There's ways of optimizing that. But yeah, a lot of this is resource management and just figuring out how to get your data to load and still be pretty quick and zippy. So it does come with a scan plan portion. If I reset it here, I just hit reset on the browser. You can see it has its own scan plan generator. You could do stuff like pick the focal law. It's going to highlight your bevel wall when you're plus or minus 10 with green. It's going to turn the beams green, so that's your optimum perpendicular angle for the weld overlay. But yeah, everything should be in here. It's a little rough. It's definitely not finished out. But yeah, it should work, and I'll show you how to modify this. So if we go into, we're going to go into a chat. This is a lot better than using Claude Code. Claude Code's pretty hard to work with, but this is the chat window. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go point to that file, and I'm going to upload that file. Most of these AIs, they have a little upload section, and you can just pop in that file and go ahead and paste in a prompt or write up a prompt. This prompt says, review the first section of this code, Markdown. It's called a Markdown section. I built it into my code so it travels with the file. It's just a little area to help you, to help the AI navigate the code. We are going to add a reports tab to the top ribbon. The reports tab will bring you to a page that will show a sample report with information filled in from the data file. Let's start with date, file name, and probe details. I'm going with 4.6 Sonnet. We could probably put the effort up to, probably go to medium or high. But this is pretty simple coding stuff. The code's already there. All it's doing is adding pieces to it. So this should be pretty easy for it, but we'll see. Real quick, we'll jump over to while that's running. And usually while that's running, I would go ahead and I would do other prompts, but in this case, this is fine. We'll just go look at this. I'd be typing out my next prompt that I want to run. But so here's mine. If I go to scan tab, you'll see I have this back wall detector. That's that green line. I have root detection. So right here, it's going to pick out my root area. See that yellow line? There's the mode converted echo. And then it's also trying to find the cap as well. You'll notice here we start to drift if you look at this middle S scan. And I can come in here and do stuff like edit this drift out. And so now here I grab that. I'm going to pull that line down. I'm going to update. And now if you watch that scan, it's kind of shudders. It's moving. Here's another one. This is a better one right here. It's going to drift. And I just corrected that. Now, if you watch this screen, this second one in from the right or from the left, you'll see it sweeps out and sweeps back in. So yeah, that's pretty nice functionality. And that's really to get over here to this eval section and now, because I've identified the root, I can go ahead and take out the far side root reflector, as well as any echo after that. I also remove the cap, any identified cap, and now I have this really clean C-scan down here with just my indications. And I got the ray tracing, and this is really how I see this software being built out. This is what phased array software should do. It should be intelligent, beam plotting. It should tell you, I saw it over here on this leg, I didn't see it over here. That's why these cursors are blue. So this is the base for assisted defect determination. It's geometry and algorithms and logic. But yeah, so this is the kind of stuff you guys should be working towards, and you do it piece by piece, just like we're doing here in this chat window. So it's still running, and I'll go ahead and take this time to show you my C-scan evaluation. So this is 32 phased array corrosion mapping scans. I can come over here to vessel stitch, and here's all my scans laid out on this vessel rollout. I can click here, and it's going to go ahead and give me my gates, my A scan, and my B scan. And go directly into the file. Here's the file now. This is where I'd be doing my evaluations, pulling out my indications. But yeah, it does some interesting things. We can do 3D model. These are somewhat useful, not as useful as you would think. You don't really want to evaluate like this. You want to evaluate in the rollout. But yeah, it's giving me everything I need right here on this page. This rollout, which is how these rollouts should be done, if you look, we'll find this T2. I'll go to this T2. This is a dynamic rollout. So if I go to T2, I can go ahead and change it. Now it's in D1's location. I can make it 0. I can make it 100. This whole thing. It's all it's all math equations to make this vessel rollout, and it's based on my U1A data. So I got my shells. My shells are in there. Here's my shell courses. I could change this diameter to 100. Now my diameter is 100. This is how these vessel rollouts should work. But yeah, that's something I've been doing for a long time. When I release this C-scan stitching, I don't think I'm going to include that. It's kind of mine, but I will have this stitch functionality in here. But yeah, this is the way corrosion mapping should be. So let's go back over here. Looks like it's completed it. I'm going to hit this download button. Now there's my report, and I'm going to go ahead and open that up. So here's my same program, but now I have a reports tab. When I click on the reports tab, it will pop me out this basic report. And you just modify it from here. So I could tell it only list the first file name, because it has 4 files here. But it's not bad information either. There's my probe configuration. You just build and build and build on it, and you just ask it one thing at a time. I will look, because that did take quite a bit of time to make that. I was surprised. It should have done that a little bit faster. But you'll also notice too, it's going to go faster. It just built the scaffolding for this. So now I can say, add a image from the S scans for all. No, we'll do the B scans. From the B scans for all groups. So now if I ask it to do that, I probably should have specified in the report, but it knows we're doing reports. before doing anything. So it's going and looking at the B scan rollouts, and I mean, this is gonna. I expect this to pop back quickly. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, so I should have said after scan groups in the reports tab. The more information you give it, the more clear it is what you're doing. The better it's going to be at it. This could mess up and I don't know, put them up here in this top bar. But this is what you do. You do these small incremental changes. You tell it what you want. If you're doing something big, you say, let's plan it out. Let's say I wanted to add a whole new, different kind of gates. I wanted to make a new gates tab with much more advanced gates. I would tell it, let's plan this out, you know. But we'll see. I might be able to pop this back. Now I understand the full picture, rendering, I probably should have had it done it when it's in multi-group mode. So, you know, I could turn on this multi and sweep all the beams. There's also this like this group's layout. I can go vertical, horizontal, hit this little button here. There's a lot of like little smart features like here I can move those two. If I go all the way across, I can get them all. Scrunch up my A scan. We'll scrunch up this B scan, you know, and then yeah, you could do quite a bit in here, whatever you want. Let's see, still chugging away at that. But yeah, I spend a lot of time waiting, and usually I'm typing out the next prompt and the next prompt and the next prompt. It seems like there's been a slowdown recently. I don't know if I'm using a different model or what's going on. This is pretty basic stuff, like adding a tab. That's pretty low level stuff. You don't need a strong model to do that. If I was going to do something like plot out the sensitivities in my S scan from the focal law, that's a higher model level. But this add a tab here, make this button, have it do this. That's lower level stuff. Let's see. Still editing. Yeah, I don't know. I really noticed a big slowdown recently. I might have to drop the model down even further. But yeah, but that's essentially that's what you do. You just keep going and going and going and building and building. So this is your base. You go ahead and work off of this and ask it to add features, make it work with your workflow and your reporting style. Okay, I did get a response, and I did clean up the markdown section. I took out a lot of revision notes and just stuff I didn't really need. So it should be a little bit zippier. It's not digging through as much stuff. But so now we go to our reports tab, and it messed up. It's pulling out S-scan windows per group, but essentially you could see how it works. And I probably should have told it, go on multi-mode, do an ABS, and get images of all the B scans, you know, something like that. But yeah, that's in a nutshell. Have fun and good luck.